another stunning day on the south coast in March. We've had a few of these. It's windy and it's a bit chilly, but it's beautiful, so it's a bike day. It's Tuesday, so we have got work, but instead of just doing the normal boring work route for you, got an errand to run beforehand. It's my dad's birthday recently, and we ordered him a England rugby hoodie thing, because there was a huge discount sale on in the England rugby store, and I mean like a huge discount sale. And it turned up the other day, and he's actually home this morning, so I'm going to run this down to him now, which means you get to see a slightly different route, but it's not really a different route, because if you watch the first episode ever on the channel, it's the same route. But the other good news is, today's a good day all round, team. The other good news is it looks like we've fixed the camera issue. I say we. It looks like by mistake we've resolved the camera issue. So after the last video that I put up on Sunday, I got in touch with Insta 360 again and said, what the fuck is going on? Like, everything that I said in that video, I basically said to them, like, it's no good as an action camera if I can't guarantee the recording of it. Still going, look. And they gave me a bunch of steps, so they were very apologetic, gave me a bunch of steps to follow. One of which was doing a factory reset and blah, blah, blah. So I did this, I followed the steps, right? Their help is really, when you finally get through to a person, their help is really useful. When you first contact them, I use Facebook Messenger, and when you first contact them, it's a really fucking annoying bot. And then eventually, it's no longer a bot, you get to talk to a person. And when you get to the person, although English is clearly not their first language, I'm not sure where the company's based, but although English is not their first language, they are incredibly helpful. So I'm not going to have any complaints there. And I got through to the person, started talking to them. They gave me a bunch of things to do, so I did those things. Then they asked me to test it again, which I did. And I tested it again, and it failed. But this time it didn't fail on my face. It failed on my desk in front of me, because I was just testing it at home after the reset. And although it failed on my desk in front of me, what I also got to see at that point was the error message, which said insufficient write speed. Now that is not something I'd ever thought would be a problem, because I like to try and film in the highest quality possible, always. And because I like to film in the highest quality possible, always, it means I typically will always buy the fastest memory cards, right? So the memory card that I was using was designated as a V90, okay? And what that means is it's a minimum write speed of 90 megabits a second, okay? Which is it's one of the ones that's like recommended for 8K filming. Now we don't film in 8K, we film in 4K, but it's one of those that's recommended for 8K filming, right? So I figured, well, if it works for 4K, it will work. Oh, sorry, works for 8K, it will work for 4K. There won't be a problem. And so I bought this V90. It's a gigabyte card. So it's got plenty of storage space, and I didn't ever think that would be an issue because it's a V90. So I said to them, I've got an error message saying insufficient write speed, and that's why it stopped filming. And they went, oh, because I think they originally thought like it might be a heat shaft or something like that, but I was like, no, it's telling me it's insufficient write speed. So they came back and said, well, how? They said something about the memory card. So well, the thing is, I don't understand how the memory card's the problem, because what I'm using is a V90 U3 blah blah blah, right? And they came back to us and said, well, that actually probably is the problem, because our cameras aren't designed to work with V90s. They're only designed to work with V30s. And I was like, you are kidding me. I have V30s. I just was using the V90 because it's my gigabit card. So yeah. I now have a V30 in it that's I think also a gigabit card, and guess what? It doesn't have any problems, and I've done some rigorous testing since, and there still doesn't seem to be any problems. So on the surface, it looks like it was simply a memory card issue. The camera's actually fine. I still feel like it's a bit daft that it can't handle V90s. Essentially, the card is capable of taking a faster data transfer rate than the camera's capable of sending, which shouldn't be an issue, logically, as far as I can tell, but apparently it's caused an issue where the camera is struggling because the write speed on the card is so different. we put a V30 in. Look at this, still recording. It might be that in a couple of videos time, when I trust it, I can quite literally stop checking the camera and stop being like, is it still recording? And talking about it, because you're probably bored of hearing it now, right? It's like episode 6 in total. You're probably bored of hearing about the camera shutting off all the time. So it could be happy Liam today if this works all the way to my dad's and all the way to work as well. I say dad's, my parents. It's just mum's at work today. So I'm potentially in a happier place right now with this camera, and I don't need to drop 400 quid on an Ace Pro 2. That doesn't stop me wanting an Ace Pro 2 if anybody wants to donate. But what I want now, I've seen some cool setups, right? I've been looking at options. When I thought that this was a camera problem, I was looking at options, and there was a cool setup that a friend of mine sent to me in a group chat that we're in. And he's got an Ace Pro 2 and a 360 X4. Now I've got the Ace Pro 1 and a 360 X3. So I've got the previous gen models of both. And this guy has also got a GPS thing on it right now. For reference team, right? Ace Pro 2, 399 quid. Insta 360 X4, 499 quid. GPS remote, 140 quid, right? So we're talking over £1,000 all in to buy these three things. Now I could sell my X3 probably for a couple of hundred. I could probably sell this Ace Pro for a couple of hundred and recoup some of that money, but not enough at the moment to make it viable with how tight everything is. And why I liked it so much was, and it did come across a bit like an Insta 360 advert, and it turns out I think the guy is sponsored by them. But the thing that was super appealing to me, I haven't braved putting my 360 X3 on here yet. I need to try it, and I need to see how hard it is to sync up the footage afterwards, because I need to make sure it's all synced and it all makes sense, which I think we could do with a clap, but I don't know if we can do with a clap, so I need to check if we can do with a clap. Anyway, the reason why I like the GPS remote is because you press record on the GPS remote, and you can have it on your wrist as a watch as well. Press record on the GPS remote, and it kicks both cameras off at once. Literally kicks them off at the same time, instantly syncs your footage. So when you bring them into edit post, they're already synced up, and that really fucking appeals to me for time saving. I don't know if you guys are aware, my main job is a YouTube channel. If you found this because you're not one of my main channel followers, then thank you so much for coming and joining us. But my main job is YouTube, and it is a channel. I run 4 channels in total. One is the one that makes the money, the other 3 are mostly for fun. So the ones that are for fun need to kind of remain as minimal effort as possible, and if I have to knob around syncing footage in post and it takes a while, which it logically shouldn't, but if it takes a while, it becomes a bit more of a time investment, and I'm not interested in a time investment for a thing that's supposed to just be for fun. So yeah, I want to buy all these toys. I really want to buy all these toys, but £1,000 worth of investment, what's the channel the size that it is, I don't think it's worth it. I still think our production value is good though. Like I still think it's quite tidy at the moment, and I think I could add the X3, and it might be good for like B-roll footage and stuff. So I'm very tempted to just throw it on at some point soon and muck about with it and see if I can. And maybe I'll do it this weekend, I'm not sure. I've got a busy weekend this weekend though, because I've got a special guest on one of our other channels. Fuck, it's so busy. Not looking for sympathy, I'm the master of my own fate here, but it's so busy. Trying to make a life as a content creator is both incredibly rewarding, lots of fun, and sometimes quite stressful. Not stressful compared to like paramedics, right? But sometimes quite stressful. Have a look. Still recorded! We might have fixed the issue! Oh, happy noises! I was grateful for some of you coming back about these red bits here, okay? So here's another fucking cost that I'm thinking about changing, right? These red bits are... I'm not in love with them. So there's a couple of options, right? So I can get them painted, which is how they're red in the first place, because I got them painted, or I can just replace them with parts from Harley that you can buy that are black already. And I don't know. So I got in touch with Sykes, who are a custom motorcycle shop. I need to speak to Guildford as well, actually, see if they're going to quote me cheaper. I said, how much would it cost me to get these bits painted? And they came back to me and said, it's going to cost you 350 quid or 250 quid? 350, I can't remember what it was. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's actually quite reasonable. I'm sure that's cheaper than I used to pay. And then I sat on it for a bit and I thought, that doesn't sound right. Like, it doesn't sound like that's how much it should cost. So I went back to Sykes and I was like, sorry, can I confirm, is this just painted or is this removed, painted, refitted? And she came back to me and she was like, no, just painted. You'd have to take them off and put them back on yourself. And I was like, I can do that, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to take them off the bike, drive up to Sykes, drop them off, get them painted, because I could just do that myself locally. So I've got two options at the moment. I take them off myself, find a local paint shop like Treston's, and get them painted gloss black and refit them. And I need to find out how much that's going to cost me from Treston's. The issue is getting this bit off, this bit stuck on, and if you break it, you'd have to order a new one. The other part of the issue is I've not taken these bits off myself before. I then need to find the manual for the torque loading specifically for the rear fender struts, to be fair. The other choice is I buy the parts from Harley Davidson that are already black, and I just swap them off and on. I still need to find the torque loadings, but if you buy the rear fairing struts, they come with the instructions to fit, which includes torque loadings. I've got torque wrenches and stuff at home, so as an aircraft engineer, I'm very fussy about torque loadings. Things need to be torqued correctly, thread locked correctly, all that kind of stuff. I'm very anal about nuts and bolts from my previous career. So I was like, that's an option. However, again, the parts combined just to replace these from red to black is about 700 quid's worth. And I just don't have that. I don't have that. So if I want to go to Treston's, it's an option, but it means I have to take the bike out of action for a while. And I don't want to do that either. Now the weather's got nice. I feel like it might be a thing that I wait to do over winter. Just live with the red over the summer, wait to do over winter, wait till the weather's a bit shitty, and I can take the bike off. I'll take them off the bike in the garage and run them over to Treston's in Southampton. And I only say Treston's in Southampton because there's others available, because that's the place that Harley Davidson in Southampton used to use before they closed. So it's probably be the place I'd be happy to use as well, because that's what they use to do all the stuff that's been done on my bike so far, and they've done a very good job, like a very good job. So, oh hello, oh it's a tractor man. We can wait. We're basically at my dad's now anyway, so I'll say goodbye before he lives in a much prettier area than we do. We live in a very nice area, but this area is a much prettier area. When I say he lives in this is where I grew up. This is a village called Hythe. I spoke to you about it on, I think, episode 2 or 3. A little village called Hythe in the New Forest, in a Southampton postcode, but in the New Forest. And this is where I grew up. This is my walk routes to and from school. And it's such a beautiful area. I love it so much down here. I'd happily, actually, as much as I want to stay in the house that we're in and live there, if that ever became an impossibility, I'd quite happily move back down this way, despite the fact that it adds 15 minutes to my commute to get back to the studio, 15-20 minutes to my commute. Not so bad on a bike because of that single road we've just come in and out of, the A326. It's just so nice down here and sleepy and relaxed. It's almost like a retirement village, which is interesting because my dad is retired. So we're going to go see him now. I'm going to drop off his jumper. I might have a quick cup of tea looking at the time, and then I'll be racing across to work. I say racing, I'll be going across to work to see Joe and Tom ready for the first show on the main channel. And then I think that'll be it. I might put the camera, I've got spare batteries in the bag, so I might put the camera on again tonight on the way home. People have been whinging, I said this in the last episode, people are whinging that the episodes aren't long enough, so we're going to try and give you some extra content here, right? As much as we can, because it's still working. Way! Oh, I'm so happy. If it's that, I'm sad that it's a simple issue that my memory card was too fast, but I'm happy if it means that I don't have any problems going forward. Anyway, nearly there. See you in a bit. I always feel like he's a bit ego-y to not show me turning up or leaving my house or my parents' house or whatever. Like, it's a bit like, no one cares, Liam. There's 200 subs. But in the world of online, you never know, do you? That's the problem. Like, you never know the type of person that might be watching. You never know if the channel might take off in the future and have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of subs. You never know. And I don't want thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people knowing where my parents live, or knowing where I live, or etc. Right? Because I'm also very conscious of the fact that, contrary to what the 200 people that are subscribed to the channel so far think, I am quite Marmite quite often. My opinions can be very Marmite. I can divide people. People can agree with me, people can disagree with me. And I think that's good. Like, I'd rather it was that way. I'd rather people were able to disagree. Like, I prefer to spark discussion, though, rather than the modern day social media. I'm right, you're wrong, I'm not going to accept anyone else's point of view. That's my personal preference, is I would much rather we disagree and discuss it, and maybe I change my mind, maybe I change my opinion, who knows. But that's not what it's like in the world of online and social media. So I feel like protecting it this early is probably a smart move. It also might not be required at all, but I just feel like it's probably a smart move. So anywho, that's the errand run. We have dropped the old hoodie off with Dad. He's quite happy with it, he's very chuffed with it. So that's that done. And he said to me, he said, the second you mentioned about coming down this morning to drop the hoodie off, I knew you'd bring your bike. I was like, well, look at the weather. It's so nice. It's a bit cold in places, like I said earlier, but it's so nice. It would be an utter waste not to get out in this weather. Where you going, little Honda? No indicating at all? Not going to tell me? No? Good. Oh, there you go. I don't understand why indicating is such an alien concept to so many people. Getting these pegs far too close to the floor nowadays. I had a look yesterday. I was doing a little bit of gentle bike polishing yesterday, because it's an incredibly cathartic process to just stick some polish on your bike and rub it down a bit. And I noticed that on my right foot peg there's a bit of metal missing now. So when it goes leaned right over, that's touched the floor a bit too much. Which is it's the only thing the reason why people suggest that Harleys don't handle very well is because they're big, heavy, cumbersome bikes that like to go in straight lines like this, which they do. That's true. That's the thing. But the best way to corner a bike, if you guys have ever watched Superbikes, watched MotoGP or whatever, the best way to corner a bike isn't turning handlebars, it's leaning bikes over. You push in, you counter steer, you lean your bike over, you roll into it, and you throttle out, right? Which you can't do in a bike like this. It's quite low, cruisery, foot pegs out here somewhere. You just can't do that lean over thing because it doesn't want to. And if you do get it leaned over, your peg hits the floor because it hasn't got the clearance. So when you, this bit, I'm not going to do on this bit of road actually, I was going to show you here, but if you look at the ground on here, we're not doing it on that bit of road. Not a fucking chance. I'm going to try and show you then. But God no, that road is far too rough. That's just screaming for the fucking bike to come out from underneath me. Not happening. Lerner on a green. What's he doing? Is he alright? He looks alright. Not a Lerner. I thought there was an L plate on him then. He indicated to come out and came out straight away, so we could assume that he's okay. Biker's code, obviously. If he's stuck, if his hazard on his stuck, I probably would pull over and see if he's okay. I can't hang around for long because I've got work to go to, but I would probably check if he's okay. It would be a nice thing to do. Oh, no indicating there either, good. So you lean a bike, right? So you push your right hand out, you lean right round, peg just nearly touched the floor there, and then you throttle out of the corner. Trying to do that in slow motion and talk you through it at the same time is actually quite hard. I told you before, I've had some great video suggestions from people about how I can like talk about how to ride a bike and all that kind of stuff. Whilst I'm doing it, what I'm looking at, the things I'm thinking of, the hazards, you know, what each hand's doing. And I think it's a great idea, but actually, sounds like it's going to be quite hard. I could talk shit whilst I'm riding, that's fine. I'm actually telling you what I'm doing and doing it at the same time. That's a level of multitasking that might be too much. So now we're off to work, and I'm conscious that the battery might run out before I get to work. So at some point this video might cut off abruptly, and then I'll change the battery when I'm at work, and then I might sign off on the way home. Or it will last all the way, who knows? I'll keep an eye on the camera, because when the battery cuts off, or when the battery is close to dying, it stops recording, which is a feature that I'm not upset about, to be honest with you. But we're going to get over to work now, get ready for, I mean, that's not the most sensible thing to do near a junction, to be honest with you. Look, I've got a high vis on, so I can ride like a bit of a dickhead and it'll be fine because everyone sees me. You crack on, mate. Like, I don't mind him overtaking cars on this road, I do it all the time, but by that junction is a bit stupid, because all it takes is for one of these cars to decide that they want to come into that junction and turn right, and he's fucked. He's not stopping in time. So I don't get the point. The traffic's not exactly going slowly either, right? It's, there you go, like there's another one up here. He's turning right. Imagine if that was back there. Imagine if that car decided back there he wants to turn right into Marchwood. And that guy's already on the overtake. Fucking idiots. I'm all for filtering. I'm all for motorbikes doing overtaking. I'm all for that kind of stuff. You know, that's just dumb. Thank you, sir. I'm not going to be silly there with a lorry coming the other way. Thank you, sir. I'm all about the thank yous as well. If you're going to be kind enough to let me through, I'm going to say thank you. That's the least I can do. Still working! Happy noises! Happy noises. We are a little short on time today as well, so we're going to go the motorway route to work like we did on the last video, because time is not currently our friend. Do-do-be-do-be-do. What a beautiful day it is though, team. Look at this. Look at this day. Oh dear. Get it? Lovely stuff. I can't wait till this is all green. Green is a colour that makes me happy. Green is supposedly, I don't know how true this is, but I was told years ago when I was in the military that green is a naturally calming colour for human beings. It's not something I've ever Googled, not something I've ever looked into, but I've been told it's a naturally calming colour. And so the inside of our forage caps, the peak caps that the military sort of wear, the peak is green. And apparently that's because when you can look up at the peak once you're on parade or whatever, it calms you down. I don't know how true that is, like I said. Be interested to know. I can't believe this thing is just working today. If this has solved the problem, I'm so happy right now. Such a better mood compared to when I started ranting in the last video, right? I was also pleasantly surprised at 70 miles an hour how much wind this thing didn't pick up. Like, really pleasantly surprised. It sounds much better than I expected. I'm quite happy. I have, however, forgotten my camera door in case it rains tonight, but I think we're okay. It's just we're in England, so you never know, do you? But I think we're okay. I have put a little rubber bung in the pass-through for the mic adapter. There's a USB-C pass-through, and that is probably part of the reason why it then pick a lane. Part of the reason why it then isn't waterproof, because of that pass-through. So I have put a I have put a USB-C bung in it to give it another sort of extra level of waterproof, splash resistant. So if we do get those English showers that can happen on days like today, it gives me a little bit more protection. I'm still pretty sure that if I then got caught with the current setup in an absolute downpour, I'd probably be a bit fucked. You never know, do you? I guess I won't know until I know, and then it might be too late. And if you see there's a month's gap in content, it's because I broke my camera. Although I'd probably update you on the YouTube community section, so... Or in the Discord. There is a Discord! Don't forget there is a Bikers Discord. I say a Bikers Discord. You don't have to be a biker to be in the Discord, but there is a Discord. You can check out the video description below, there'll be a link to Discord. It's free, because we don't have memberships, it's free. There's a few people in there that are quite chatty already, which is quite cool. Community is one of my favourite things about any hobby that I do, whether that's football, whether that's Warhammer, whatever it might be. Community is my favourite thing about it. People getting together because they have similar interests, similar likes. That's my favourite thing in the world. So if you're into the channel, if you like this, if you like community, if you like bikes, if you're just enjoying the vlogs, maybe it's not bikes, maybe you just like the vlogs. Maybe you don't ride and you've got no intention of ever riding, but you enjoy the motorcycle vlogs. Come and join the Discord server. So right, you push with your right hand and lean. And you use your throttle for control. You don't really want to touch your brakes in the lean. And if you're going to touch your brake in this kind of lean, you probably want to touch your back brake, but you're not really. You definitely want to be touching your front brake, because if your nose dives, your brake's going to come out from underneath you. You keep the lean, and you throttle out the lean. Yeah! Still recording, look at that. It's much harder to look at the mirror at this speed, I'll be honest. Oh my god, it's windy today. He says, looking at all the tree branches that are dead still. Clinging on for dear life right now, team. Clinging on for dear life. No, it's not that bad. It's alright. I think the biggest thing that annoys me on a cruiser or a naked bike at this kind of speed is actually the wind noise. And this helmet's pretty good for wind noise, but it's definitely not the greatest in the world for wind noise at this speed, because you've got nothing you can like tuck in and hide in behind. So I have got some earplugs at home I want to try out, but I feel like talking with earplugs in is going to be a bit weird. I also don't like earplugs. I should. With the noise of the engine and the noise of the exhaust, I should definitely wear earplugs all the time. But I like that sound too much. And I'm worried about wearing earplugs on a ride. I'm like, oh, it's really muted. Because it's a fucking great sound. And it's not like I ever get anywhere and I've got like ringing in my ears, really kind of tinnitus. So I mean, maybe it's just because I'm already partially deaf from the army. It's possible. You guys see me at that last minute. I'm not anyway, because it's a polite thing to do. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's dry. It's not as warm as it could be, but I'm not cold right now. I'm comfortable. I'll be cold riding home later. You'll hear me shivering on the camera ride home later. But my God, it's beautiful. More of this, please. I've got to go to Brighton on Friday for a meeting, and I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to ride to there. And I looked at the weather forecasts this week. Sunny today, dry tomorrow, sunny Thursday, Friday, rain. Like, oh, of course. I was really hoping to get out the Beeline Moto 2 and see if it will direct me all the way to Brighton. I'm really excited for that. Computer says no. This is a bold move actually, because earlier I was told that there was a load of traffic on the M27 because of an accident. This is this motorway, the M27 for reference. I was told there was a load of traffic on it because of an accident, and it was tailbacks for over an hour long, and I completely forgot about it when I left Dad's. And thankfully, it looks like it's not a problem right now. It's been cleared, which is good. That noise, honestly, just makes me so happy. Blow performance exhausts. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's one of the cheapest exhaust solutions for this kind of bike, which is partly why I got it. So like, if you buy like Vance & Hines Big Radius, for example, they're like 1,200 quid. If you buy Vance & Hines Short Shots or anything, like you're looking at like 800, 900 minimum for exhaust system, for a full exhaust system for this bike. Like I said, the Big Radius, which is the most popular type of exhaust to put on these, is about 1,200, 1,300, and then you can get other interesting ones as well that are that sort of price, 900 to 1,000. Then there's the big boys. When I say big boys, I don't mean big boys in terms of they're a bigger brand or a bigger company or a better exhaust. I just mean in terms of the price. So you've got the Jekyll and Hyde exhaust company, and there's another one whose name escapes me right now. And they do like buttons on your handlebars here, and you have two modes. You have a quiet mode and a loud mode. So you can be riding at night time in your neighbourhood and be nice and quiet, and then you press a button and it opens the baffle up in the exhaust, and then it goes into angry Harley mode, which is where I would want to be all the time. So I wouldn't typically use that button. I say I don't own it. But you're talking like £3,000 to £4,000 a system. Well, they're in euros. They're like 3,000 to £4,000 a system. So it's about the same in pounds, right? I don't really know what the exchange rate is at the moment. But they're turbo expensive. And then there's this little old company in Australia making these exhausts that look so different to anything else you've seen. It looks so much cooler. Get out my fucking blind spot knob. They look so much cooler, so much better than anything. I think they look so much cooler than anything else you see in the market. And importantly, their price point is like 700 quid less. So I think I paid 600 and something quid for the exhaust system, if that. Shipped over from Australia. Incredible customer service, like mad good customer service, incredibly responsive, open to emails the whole time, talked me through everything. Really, really, really good guys. I say guys, I think I only spoke to one person. It might even be a one-man operation. Really good guy at Blow Performance who sorted me out. And this was like 2 years ago, just under. And I couldn't be happier. I think it sounds amazing. I think it looks super cool. It looks different to... haven't seen another Fat Boy or even a Harley Cruiser at the moment. I'm yet to see one. There used to be tons that used to get into London Harley Davidson. Haven't seen one with an exhaust like this. Haven't seen it. And I think sometimes in the motorcycle world it's quite easy to go onto a forum or a Facebook page or a group and be like, what's the best exhaust for a Harley Davidson Fat Boy? What's the best handlebars for a Sportster S? What's the best seat for a Street Glide? And people will tell you, based on their own personal experience, and eventually you end up with this kind of common opinion that the Vance & Hines Big Radius are the best exhausts for Harley Softails, and that Saddlemen Roadsovers are the best seats for Street Glides. And I'm just pulling names out here. This isn't necessarily my opinion or things that I've seen. This is just me pulling names out. But you hear that sort of stuff, right, all the time. And so what you could end up in the situation, what you often find is people will then buy the thing that everyone tells them is the best. So you end up with every person with a Softail wants a set of Vance & Hines Big Radius, and then when you come to summertime and you want to put new pipes on your bike, you can't get them anywhere because they're sold out everywhere because everyone's buying them, which is fine, that's cool, but I wanted something a little bit more unique. So I wanted to do things a little bit differently. So these handlebars, for example, are meat hooks. They're called meat hooks from what's the name of the Dominator Industries in the US. And I don't see many of these types of handlebars at the moment here in the UK on these kinds of cruisers. The pipes, like I said, Blow Performance, specifically designed for these MA engines. I hadn't seen this one in this country at all before. I have got a Saddlemen seat because they are the best in my opinion, and they're incredibly comfortable. That's the company in the US. But I wanted a couple of things that are a bit more unique. These mirrors are from Rizoma. They are Harley Davidson official parts, but they are from Rizoma, and I really like them. The only downside is I can't mount them under the handlebars because the angle doesn't work. Right, this is how fussy I am. If you mount them under the handlebar, I want them to sit here, right? And you need to angle them in such a way that you can see behind you to kind of keep these clean lines. And I'm still thinking about trying and mount them in a way in which I'm happy. But I'd have to move the whole control grip for where the mounting hole is for the handlebar, for the mirror, because you can't get the angle where you can see, because it's got a big fat back here. I'll show you one day. It's got a big fat back on the top of the mirror. So the other option to do is to turn them upside down, and then you get all the angle you need. But then they're upside down, and the word Harley Davidson is upside down, and the word Harley Davidson being upside down on the back of the mirror would annoy me. So because the word would be upside down, and this text would be upside down, I can't do it. I can't be that person. I can't have upside down words. No, that would annoy me. But I actually think they look kind of cool on top of the bars. And the visual is probably a lot better actually on top of the bars. And I think being underneath is cool, and I've been looking at another set of mirrors which are not very expensive that I might try, and having them underneath is cool. But if I buy a cheaper set of mirrors and I can't see as much as I can now, I'll probably just change back, because I feel like I would write this out, right? Based on a lot of what I've just said, this might seem a bit contradictory, but I feel like looking cool at that point is less important than what I can see, because I ride like everybody else in the car is out to kill me, because they are. So I want to be able to see what's going on behind me. I want to see who's sneaking up on me. I want to see as much as I can at all times, and I can't do that if I'm picking mirrors because they look cooler and I can see less. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, there's got to be a balance to be struck. These look cool as shit where they are, I think. Thank you. I think these look cool as shit where they are, honestly. They could be slightly cooler if they were underneath the bars, but I can't get them to sit in a place where I can see what the fuck is going on behind me, so I just don't change them. I've just left them where they are. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm overly thinking it. maybe I'm overthinking it, but you know, rule of cool only for so far, right? There has to come a point where you're making sensible decisions. Has to come a point where you're making sensible decisions when you're riding a motorcycle. Despite the fact that certain things, these bars were picked because I wanted to raise my arms up because I was down here somewhere and I didn't like it. So I picked the bars because I wanted to raise my arms up. I picked the style of the bar because they're cooler. And then I picked the height because I wanted to just pick the right height for me, where I would sit here comfortably. But that's like the balance, right? So I picked the height of the actual handles based on comfort and my riding position. I picked them because I wanted to change my riding position from something that was comfortable, but I wanted to be more comfortable because I am sat upright here and it's good for my back, these bars, genuinely good for my back. However, like I said, I picked the style because I think they look cooler, and that's, for me, that's the way you get the balance right. So you pick something that functions within the parameters that you want it to function in, that looks the coolest, that's fine. If you pick something that looks cooler but it doesn't function within the parameters you want it to function, so you're slightly more uncomfortable, or you're not in the best riding position, or you can't see as much, or it gives you like lower back pains and that kind of thing, then I think that's where you've kind of gone a little too far then, because at that point, if it's a show bike and you're riding it for like 15 minutes, who cares? But if it's like a daily driver commuting to and from the studio, for example, I feel like at that point you've made a silly choice. So yeah. At the moment, these mirrors, I don't know how much you guys can see, but these mirrors, I can see loads out of them. They're very good, they're very clear. If I brought them down here, would I see as much? I don't know. If you're a biker and you've underslung your mirrors, if any of you in chat are cruiser bikers, if you've underslung your mirrors, let me know. Can you see more or less? I'd like to know, actually. I'm genuinely interested. Because if a lot of you are like, yeah, you see the same, then I might pull the trigger on some slightly cheaper mirrors. But if you're all going to tell me that you can't see jack shit, then I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make any sense. Come on, traffic lights. I didn't think they were ever going to change. I cut a little bit out there because it was just me sat at lights. That would have been boring for you all. It started to get a little hot in the helmet. So you know the weather's getting better. Well, she's still recording, motherfuckers! Ha-ha! Yes! Thank you, Insta 360, for helping me out and for helping me find my problem and fix my issue. We are back on, baby. I was getting to the point where I was like, I can't. Spent hundreds on an action camera that doesn't do what I want it to do. I can't do this anymore. And now, I'm happy as a pig in shit. And we're at the studio. Good. Things are better. Things are getting better. Joe stole my bike space. What the fuck's he doing? Alright, I'll put it in between them then. It is cold and dark. And we are leaving the studio after a successful night of streaming. It's a successful day of streaming, actually. Compared to where I was like a day ago, my mood is significantly improved. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like very good, but it's definitely improved. It's definitely got better. But god damn, it's cold right now. I'm gonna go home. Luce has decided she needs to already go to bed. She took the kids to tennis today. And I think she might have overdone it a little bit. She said, I need to remember to stop diving for tennis shots with the kids when I'm 36. So I feel like she's overdone it a little bit, but might be welcomed by a wife that's asleep, which means the front of the house will be locked up, and it's a pain in the arse. The downside is I've got to pull onto the driveway in this bike, so there's a strong possibility I'm going to wake her up But hey, she knows I'm on the bike, so it's kind of tough, really. I say kind of tough. She's fucking incredible. I'm not going to whinge ever. And then tomorrow is a day off, so tomorrow I'll then be responsible for looking after the kids and making dinner and bringing her coffee in bed in the morning. And really, honestly, considering how much she supports all this YouTube nonsense that I do, it's a very, very small price to pay to give her a day off, make her feel loved, cared about. It's really not a problem at all, to be honest with you. So tomorrow is a lie-in for us, because it's a Wednesday. So for those of you that don't normally watch the channel, I'll explain. We home educate our kids. They don't go to school, which we've done since COVID. Our eldest went to school, our youngest never did, and he did all right at school, but he was kind of falling behind standards. And he's not a dumb kid, like he's a very, very clever boy, but he was falling behind standards and he wasn't really having a great time. And Luce wanted to home educate for ages, and I said no. I went to school, they can go to school, that's what's going to happen. And then it got to COVID, lockdown happened, the kids came home, and I said to Luce, you know what, you've got an opportunity here to just have a go at it for free, and you can give it a go, and you can try and home educate, and it'll go well. Cool, we can home educate them. If it goes badly, cool, it's COVID, they'll go back to school eventually. What are you doing, you nutter? Oh, smart. Fucking idiot. If it goes badly, it's COVID times, they can go back to school afterwards. It's not really a problem, is it? And so we had a free shot at it, and fair play to Luce. She did an incredible job. James, is my eldest, his standards started improving, increasing. He got better. He's an incredible little boy now. He's very, very clever, and she's doing a fantastic job. Ben, my youngest at the time, wasn't at school. He's now never been to school because she did such a good job with James. She just started home educating Ben. And she's just doing an amazing job. But what we do, because we home educate, we don't have to do a Monday to Friday school week. Because I work for myself and Luce does work for the business, she doesn't have to do a Monday to Friday working week. So what we do is we have a weekend day on a Wednesday and a weekend day on a Sunday. So the kids will do Monday, Tuesday learning, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday learning, Sunday off, Monday, Tuesday learning, Wednesday off. So we break the learning week up for them quite a lot, which basically means that they've got nice little gaps in between, and we're never asking them to do 5 days straight, which is obviously quite good for kids on the whole, especially when they have some of the autisms and they have the ADHD that I've got, etc. It's mostly positive that for them on the whole. So we split up their learning, and then what we did is each of the weekend days we gave each of us one of those days as a day off. So mine is, for example, Sunday. Sunday's my day off. And by a day off, what I mean is the kids need anything, food, drinks, entertainment, whatever, they hurt themselves. Mum's job on Sunday. Wednesday, tomorrow, is Luce's day off, which means the same thing, but obviously in reverse. So if the kids need anything tomorrow, food, drinks, entertainment, whatever, it's my job, right? Also though, because it's a day off, it does mean that there's no alarm clocks. We normally have a 6:30 alarm clock in our house, and that's not the case on Wednesdays and Sundays. So Tuesday night stream's finishing a little bit later. I don't actually mind too much because I don't have an alarm clock in the morning, and that makes me very happy because I'm not a morning person. I'll get up, I have to get up. There's not enough time of the day to run your own business, so I have to get up to do business stuff and do business things and to do business stuff and things, but there is really just not enough time in the day, so I have to get up. If I had a choice, however, I'd be like an 8 a.m, 9 a.m. riser every single day, without doubt. But it's just not an option, right? Because there's just too much to do, despite the fact that often I finish work at like 10 o'clock, really, because even on a normal stream day with my main channel, where the streams will finish at 9 on a Wednesday or a Monday, by the time I've shut everything down and done any last little bits of admin I need to do, we're still talking about it being legitimately 10 o'clock before I'm sort of done, in bed by like 10:30, 11 after like I've showered and stuff, because I'm an end of the day shower. I can't morning shower, I have to end of the day shower, I have to get everything clean. So that's a thing, that's I think I have to also do it at the end of the day, so I don't get to bed like till 11, half 11, which is fine. I don't mind that. I'm a late to bed person, but then 6:30 morning is shit. On a night like tonight, where it's 20 past 11, I'm still in Southampton, getting ready to leave at the moment. I'm not going to get to bed till, you know, by the time I've got home, put the bike away, showered, I'm not going to get to bed till half midnight, which is fine, because tomorrow's a day off, so I don't care. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm not bothered, because I haven't got to be up tomorrow. It's a bit harder on Thursday nights. So Thursday nights, if you're ever watching the main channel, if you are a 40k fan and you are watching the main channel, Thursday nights I'm always keener to get home sooner, because I'm like, I've got a 6:30 alarm tomorrow, so if I go to bed at half midnight then, I get 6 hours, and that's not enough. I need to shut this visor. I like the fresh air on my face when I first come out. It wakes you up quite a lot, and then eventually it's just, this is too cold, my eyes are starting to freeze. Obviously doesn't help, team. I've got a tinted visor at night time, so this must be what it's like to be like Batman. Although I can see a surprising amount out of this tinted visor at night time, a lot more than I thought I'd be able to. Like, a lot more than I thought I'd be able to. So much so that I'm comfortable riding with it closed. I've had other tinted visors in the past where I have not been comfortable riding with it in the dark at all, because I can't see shit. But I can see potholes and fucking manhole covers and all sorts with this, so it's surprisingly clear. People will still tell me it's stupid, but meh. I'll swap visors every 5 minutes. It's a pain in the arse. Oh, what a great day. What a lovely day to ride a bike. It's been great. The weather was beautiful today. This camera's finally working. Yeah! I'm so happy that the camera's finally working. And it hasn't caused me an issue all day. So it does look like it was the memory card all along. I'm so fucking chuffed. And I get to ride the bike home, which is happy place me. So yeah, tomorrow day off for loose. The kids will play some video games. I've got some work to do in the morning. I've got an event that I'm running soon in my humble little studio, and I need to do some work for that. I've got some work to do with my accountant. It's kind of a boring morning, really. I'd like to get some video games in with Joe at some point, but actually probably could do with working all day. In fact, I'm almost definitely going to end up working all day, and then a stream in the evening. Then Thursday we come back and do all this again, and the weather's supposed to be great on Thursday, but unfortunately Thursday morning, I say unfortunately like it's a burden, and it really isn't, but Thursday mornings I loosen the kids into town and drop them off at a place that's like 5-10 minutes away from the studio, and I drop them off there at 11, at which point it just makes sense to go straight to work. That being said, I've also booked a haircut, which is also 10 minutes away from that same location at like 11:30 or whatever. So, like, I'll have to take the car over, drop them off, drive to my haircut, because otherwise, by the time I drive home, get on the bike, go over, it'll be too late. And then Friday, it looks like, at the moment at least, it's going to be absolutely chucking it down with rain. So this might be the last time I get on the bike before the weekend. In fact, it's almost definitely going to be the last time I get on the bike before the weekend, which makes me sad, but is also fair. It's a thing, so luckily I got to stick on it earlier in bright sunshine, clear blue skies, and I was clever enough to put on my winter gloves today, not my favourite gloves, which are my summer gloves. I got to put my winter gloves on, so my hands with the grips on, not even, maybe like halfway, are quite toasty at the moment. So even riding home when it's like 2 degrees, it's quite nice. I just get to ride home, and that's fucking great. And I don't actually know if I can genuinely, truly portray how happy riding a bike makes me. Like, I said this before, and I'll say it again, I've got an episode I want to do at some point. I'm going to get the Beeline Motor's got this super cool fucking mode they're going to change, because there's a car pulled up to that set. There's no, we're good. I've got this Beeline Moto 2 that I did an episode on before, right? And it's got a mode on it that I didn't know it had, where you pick the total amount of distance you want to ride for, or the time. I can't remember if it's distance or time. I think it's distance. So you might say you want to ride for 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, whatever. And then you basically say go. But what it does is it sets you up a nice riding loop, and it gives you different places you can ride to. And I think that's a cool idea to do for content, where I can jump on the bike and just do like one of these loops. And I'll probably see places I haven't seen before. And one of them I want to do a little bit of a chat about motorbiking and mental health, because one, I'm a big advocate for engaging positively in mental health anyway, which most of you that know me know that already. But two, I think a lot of people don't quite realise the difference that these things make, and it's significant, like really significant. And there's a number of reasons to it, which I'm not going to go into too much detail now because that will kind of ruin the episode, but there are reasons to it. So I want to do that at some point. But I thought that was a cool thing. I've also, like, some people said that they'd like to see, we're getting close to wrapping up now, by the way, but some people said they'd like to see riding out to locations, so like riding out to, I don't know, historic locations, and maybe we get off the bike and talk about the location for a couple of minutes. In the south coast down here, there's quite a lot of them. I mean, we're in England, right? There's a lot of them everywhere. But there's a fair amount down here. We've got the historic dockyards in Southampton, and there's loads of like castles and forts and shit about. So that's another thing that I can do. Some people have said, like, what I've been told by people is that kind of travel, almost like a travel vlog, is super interesting, because they get to see places that they might never ever otherwise get to see. And I actually think that that's something that I'd be interested in doing as well. So if you think that's a great idea, if you like that concept and you've managed to get to this stage of the video, let me know in the comment section below. If you think it's a terrible idea, you can also let me know in the comment section below. It's perfectly fine. But what I always say, if you're going to criticize, like I said this to the guys that used to work for me all the time, if you're going to criticize something, you criticize something. If you're going to criticize it to senior management, you criticize it to your heart's content. If you think this thing is terrible, if you think this process is crap, if you think the way we do this thing is bad, you tell me, you tell my boss, you tell the boss's boss, you can tell the head of the company. I don't mind. I'm never going to be angry at you for saying that. However, what I would like to add is, if you think the thing we do is bad, or the process that we do is bad, or the idea that we have is bad, I want you to tell me why you think it's bad, and then more importantly, I want to know how we do it better. Like, there's so many times I've been in companies where a worker said, boss, this is shit. I'm like, okay, why is it shit? Because it's fucking shit. Okay, that doesn't really give me a lot of information as to why you think it's shit, but okay, cool. You think it's shit, fine. How do we do it better? I don't know. Cool, so you think it's shit, you can't tell me why you think it's shit, and you can't tell me how you do it better. I'm struggling to see how I'm going to help you here. So if you think that idea is shit, I have no problems with you saying, Liam, that sounds like a shit idea. Tell me what you'd like to see. There's only so much riding to and from Southampton that you lot are going to probably put up with before you get fucking bored of it. And summer's coming, so the ability or capacity to get on this more is probably going to increase. And there are pockets of time at the moment that I can use. There's not a lot, but there are pockets of time I can use at the moment to go and do a video for an hour, maybe two. And because of how easy, at the moment at least, I'm keeping the editing of these things, like, I don't feel like it would be a massive drama for me to take 2 hours out of my week to make a video that isn't necessarily me riding to and from work. So just tell me what you'd like to see if it's not that. I think it's a great idea though. The likelihood is I'm going to do it anyway. But if you don't like that, but you've got another great idea, I'm all open. I'm all ears open, because I could do like more than just that as content, for example, which I'm going to do anyway. Like, people have said they want to see some walk rounds and reviews of bikes. I'm thinking about trying one of those this weekend. I'm not super comfortable with it yet, but I am thinking about trying one of those this weekend. So that's a thing that that's a suggestion we've had. I've only got 2 at the moment, so I'd have to find out from dealerships how long I can take a BMW for a test ride, or a Suzuki for a test ride, or whatever, and see whether they'll let me take them out for long enough that I can do a decent video. Because it might say, oh, you can have it for half an hour. I'm not doing a decent video in half an hour, am I? I mean, maybe you guys will think that'll be enough. As long as I've got the camera on, it's fine. But I don't know. Interested to know what you guys think. Anyway, we're nearly home. You know this area by now. We're nearly there. Thank you so much for watching, you wonderful human beings. Again, thank you so much for watching. And the subscribers, the last time I looked, had hit 200, which is insane for what is essentially a little life moto vlog channel. So thank you so much for watching, you wonderful human beings. You are absolutely amazing. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Give us a like if you have. Smash subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one.